So I will go ahead and kick off. I just wanted to welcome again the attendees in our professional network who have been with us for many webinars now throughout the year and in years past, and also to welcome those who may be new to SASE webinar, our webinar series. This is a monthly free webinar series that we provide to this community of professionals. This is usually on about a 3 to 4 week cadence, but I just wanted to kind of share with our newer folks who are on this why we do this, why we have SASE Professional. And it's really to address leadership development and training needs for professionals in general. You know, by our nature, we're a little bit more STEM focused, but this is, you know, leadership skills and training and awareness of your barriers, ways to amplify your presence. You know, we're talking about promotions today, right? And so it pertains to not only the STEM community, but a much broader community, you know, whether you're in finance or HR or some, you know, operational things. You know, these are applicable. These topics are absolutely applicable to your everyday needs. And really, at the end of the day, we have 3 fairly simple, straightforward goals: is to increase your business impact, right, for your employers, the ROI that they, you know, they spend in investing in you, the strengthen representation, right, that we had at higher levels, leadership levels across the industry. We always know that, you know, leadership tends to start dropping off in terms of, you know, some of the people we associate with who are not as well represented, you know, at the higher echelons of the company, and really to cultivate a happier, right, a more well-balanced and productive individual and professional. So those are the 3, you know, why we do this stuff. And again, it's an ongoing free. Every 3 to 4 weeks. It gets a little wonky during conference season on October and maybe during the holidays, but we try, and it's recorded, as this session is already being recorded, so that you can have a playback on our YouTube channel as well as on our webinars webpage. So stay connected with us through LinkedIn, through our website. Here's an example of some of the earlier webinars we had this year, all the way from mental health to barriers to your career success. So, you know, I mean, they're relevant topics for you to just register, again, at no cost. Usually it's this third or Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. All right, and again, I will share this out after, but, you know, as part of our recording. But again, you can always connect with us at pro@saseconnect.org or ideas at, okay? At this time, I wanted to give a shout out to a couple of people on the team who have been instrumental in helping us continue to operationalize and execute these webinars. Jessica Moy, who works with me in professional programs, she will monitor chat, some of the surveys that you will see at the very end of today's webinar. And our producer, as I'm calling, Jim Lee, who should be a familiar face for those who have attended our national conventions in the recent past, one of our really great trainers. And so he'll be kind of moderating some of the chat as well. And like I said, he's our second producer, so he gets to chirp in my ear and host here, you know, from time to time. All right, having said that, I am going to come off of my speech here. So Hope can put her stuff up, but I wanted to, as she does that, just really briefly introduce Hope. She has been a trainer for SASE for some time now. For those who may have joined us at an earlier conference in the spring, she has co-emceed our Women's Leadership Conference, and last year at our national convention in Boston was one of our trainers. So she should be a familiar face, a familiar spirit to us, and it is absolutely my pleasure to welcome Hope.
18 years ago, after working for 8 years in an engineering software company, I felt I was a bigger fish in a small pond. I was looking for bigger and open water. I found it. I joined a company with 250,000 employees. That was 10,000 times bigger than my previous company. Immediately, I felt I am a small fish in a big pond. Before, I was reporting to the CEO directly. We had several conversations each day. I learned everything I could from him. He's a great manager. He taught me everything I needed to learn. Technical skills, customer engagement, market development, presenting to stakeholders, what to say, what not to say. And we wrote papers together. I developed new algorithms that's still in production today. But in the new company, I can't even access the manager of my own manager. There were 6 layers between me and the CEO. How can I access the CEO? The CEO didn't know me. In my old company, I was an expert in the technology that we used. In the new company, I need to learn new technologies and new tools. In the old company, I knew everybody. I'm a good friend with everybody. In the new company, I knew nobody. In the old company, I know the customer, I know what they want, I know what they needed, I can help them right away. In the new company, I don't know the customer. It's a new industry for me. Quickly, I realized whatever I knew about the promotion doesn't work. It's not enough. Fortunately, with many years of strategic and persistent work, I was able to get to the executive position in the biggest financial company in the world. So today I'm going to share some of the learnings, some of the mistakes that I made, and hopefully you can take something useful for your promotion. I did became a bigger fish in a bigger pond. A little about myself. Let's get to know each other. As Clarence mentioned, I am a founder of my Blueprint Coaching. I am an executive coach with ICF-PCC certified. Currently, there's only 26,000 people worldwide have this credential. I'm also a coach with Bespoke. The owner, Jim Lee, is here helping us. I am a member of AWCC, Asian Women Coaching Collective, which is a partner of SASE for many years. I'm a professional speaker, member of National Speakers Association. I'm a technology executive, expert engineer. I'm a board member of multiple nonprofits. I have 3 masters in engineering. I'm a mother of 2. I'm a stepmother of 2. Together, my husband and I have 4 children. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter, an immigrant, a woman of color, a LinkedIn influencer, and the list can go on. But the most important thing is I am a human being just like you on my journey to fulfill my full potential. I'm sure you all play multiple roles in your life, so now let's get to know you a little bit. We're going to use Mentimeter. As those who have used this before, you know this is absolutely anonymous. Nobody knows who said what, not even me. So scan this QR code or go to menti.com, enter the code 33285484. And Jessica, maybe you can also help to put the link into the chat. Thank you. Once you're there, give me a thumb up. Oh, I'm seeing all the thumb ups. We'll give people just a little more time so that they can all get into the survey. I love this. Oh, wow. Love it, love it. Are we good? More thumb up, they're still coming. All right, it's slowing down. Okay, all right. If you can't get to it enough, soon enough, you can still go in. Just go to the menti.com. It's on the top. It will always show. So we're going to continue, move on. The first question. Where are you in your career? Are you early career, mid career, or maybe you're senior professional? Because this will impact what we're going to talk about, where we're going to focus on. Because the promotion strategy can be just a little different depending on where you are. I love this. Wow, look at this.
Yeah, I hope you got
Majority of
some
you.
pretty seasoned folks here.
Yes.
Thirds, yeah.
Well, maybe you will teach me on promotion strategy. Wow, great. Love it. Love it. The next question. What role are you currently in? So we have 4 choices: individual contributor, manager of individuals, manager of managers, executives. If you are an executive, but also an individual contributor, choose the higher one, okay? So we have a majority of us are individual contributors. The color managers or manager and the executives are very close, but the pink, the shallow pink is executive. So 77 individual contributor. Okay. 25 manager of individuals. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. The next question. What comes to mind when you think about a promotion? More responsibilities, networking, money, yes, of course, validation, efficiency. I'm going to stop screen for a little bit.
There's a lot coming in, Hope.
A
We'll
lot
just go
coming
ahead.
in, growth,
Yeah,
ooh, challenging, more money, of course, money, money, money. Ooh, moving forward, responsibility,
Promotion.
status, growth, sponsors, lots of work, higher. Okay.
What else can be, what do you think are in here that you haven't seen yet?
Yeah, so I love what we have shared here, right? It's a variety of different understanding. But what I love is people not only say it's growth opportunity, it's more money, it's a title, it's validation to confirm that I'm capable, but also realize there may be some other roles, responsibilities, right? Bigger time management, or now you may step into more politics. Some people just don't like playing politics. And we're going to talk about all of that. Higher title. Love it. Love it.
Well, it's good to see some of these, see some common elements here. Yeah.
Yes.
But I also think about, what are some other things, less obvious or maybe these misconceptions that people have about promotion.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop share, but do not close your Mentimeter browser because we're going to continue the fun. Hopefully you're having some fun. Okay. So I'm going to stop share for a moment. So, Clarence, you talked about some misconceptions. There's so
Hmm.
many of them.
Hmm.
And even including that promotion is vertically moving up the ladder all the time,
Mhm.
or it is an individual achievement. I have to prove myself. But a lot of times it can be also a teamwork. And or promotion is about more money, more position, which is true, but not always. Sometimes you may step down in order to have a bigger promotion. And Mackenzie has a new book called Broken Run. It talks about experience capital. How do you rotate around in different programs so that you can gain experience? We actually know 50% of your income, lifetime income, comes from your education, the degrees you have, but the other 50% comes from your experience that you accumulated through your career. So a lot of mistakes, and maybe people think that once I get the promotion, I'm going to be automatically be more influential. I'm going to be able to make bigger decisions. I want to mention that, as you know, some of you are hikers. When you hike to the peak, all of a sudden you look around, there are more peaks, right? Higher peaks further away. And also, and this happened to me as well. I thought once I got promoted, I will be automatically be happier. I will be feeling fulfilled. And what I found is, yes, get a promotion will really give us some happiness, some joy, but that is really short lived. Sustained fulfillment really requires us to really know about us, learn about us, know what drives us, what gives us more energy. It's a journey about learning who we truly are, what kind of purpose we have with the world. So during this Connect conference, we're going to really go deep into how we find the purpose, how we find sustained fulfillment and happiness.
It's interesting that you share perhaps some of the misconceptions. It's easy to think about, the one I heard, loudest to me, Hope, was, I made it. I'll be happy, right? And
Yeah.
right, and all of this success, but related to perhaps some of these misconceptions is, how do, quote unquote successful people think about promotion differently?
Yeah. So if we think about successful people, they almost think about the opposite of the mistakes, right? They think about promotion as a strategic process, who they need to talk to, how can they make their work known. And they also prioritize the value they're providing, not just the effort. Because often we say, oh, I worked so hard, but I wasn't promoted. But then we have to ask ourselves, what value did we provide to the company? And think beyond your current role. What else do you want to learn? What else is needed for the next level position? And beyond the promotion, is that a purpose that aligned with yourself? As for some of you, you may know the CEO of Tom, the shoe company. Once he got huge success, and then all of a sudden he got a depression because he made it. Now what? He lost a purpose, right? So if you find that purpose, that mission, it's going to be more impactful. And fortunately, later he did find his purpose again. And so I want to talk about the prioritize value, not just effort. Because we, as scientists and engineers, or whatever role you're playing, we all hard workers. We put long hours, extra effort. But I want to ask you to think about not only am I doing the things right, but also ask, am I doing the right things? Am I doing the things that add value to the company's revenue? Am I doing the things that's important to the customer? I give you an example. When I first joined the big company, JP Morgan Chase, I was working for a department that focused on check and statement images. You can request that, you can view that on chase.com. But I was in a supporting department. I was not a front and center dealing with the customers. So after 2 years working there, become an expert in that area, I moved proactively to a different department so that I can be front and center with the company's customers and values. So my question to you is, whatever you're doing, is it aligned to your company's value? Are you contributing to your company's revenue directly or indirectly? Put that answer into the chat. So I'm going to start sharing again. we're gonna have another question. How clear are you? Oh, you can't see my screen. I'm gonna share again. How clear are you about the promotion process in your company?
Somewhat, although minority is 100% clear.
Minority.
A minority.
Yes.
Uh,
Somewhat clear is the biggest slice and not clear at all. Okay,
well,
keep coming. So here's what I say.
yeah,
If
what do people
we
need
are
to
not,
do? It's a
right?
majority.
Yeah. So I would encourage all of us to get clear about the promotion process in your company. Each company is different, the timeline is different, the criteria is different. Some company may not even have transparent promotion criteria, but I would encourage you to get as clear as possible, because if we don't know where we're going, every road will take us there, except maybe the destination isn't what we want to land. So I would encourage us to do this as a homework after the webinar, to get clear with your manager, with your HR partner about what is the promotion process in this company. Maybe not 2 levels further away, just for me to get on to the next level. What do I need to do? What are the criteria? And when does the process start? Here
Sure,
we are. Who
sure.
is responsible for your promotion? Thank you for being patient with me when technology doesn't work. Even though I work in technology, that's frustrating. Who is responsible? Myself, manager, we are. How do you define that way? My manager, sponsor,
Excellent. Okay.
skip level manager, HR. I love this.
Oh, there's a few more coming
The
in. All right.
company, yeah, the leadership, HR, my
Skip
manager's
level
manager.
manager. That's interesting. Yeah. What's your take
Yeah.
on some of these? I board members. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So really depends on which company or which type of company they're working for, right?
Hmm.
But I think in the middle, as you can see, it's me, myself, my manager. And that's really great, because a lot of times we kind of give the responsibility of promotion to other people, but we are actually one of the most important people, because we have to be the architect, we have to be the CEO of our career, our promotion. So all of those other people, manager, skip level manager, HR, they're important, but they need to work around you, around your promotion. I love that, Randy. Thank you for agreeing with me.
So kind of like allies. I hope, I look at, me, myself, right? I think in one of our previous webinars that kind of resonated with me is that you're your own advocate. You're your best advocate, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Clarence, like you mentioned last webinar, Lawrence and you did a great job about the 5 barriers.
Yeah.
So I encourage people to go back, watch the recording. And really, that's we have to take the initiative. We have to be proactive. Next question. What kinds of intelligence are needed to get promoted? People skills. Yes. Emotional intelligence. Network, personal,
Social,
people skills,
the social network.
social intelligence, educational, communication, business.
Seems like
Love
people
it.
are black and right here. They got the right
Yeah.
ideas. Oh,
I
I
want to
see.
see in the middle what they are. So in the middle right now, you look at that is technical, which is IQ, emotional and social. Communication can be part of emotional intelligence as well as social intelligence. Awesome. Great. All right.
I think this is a leading slide, Hope. That
It
you'll
is.
talk
They're
about
so
shortly.
smart. So we talked about the kinds of intelligence that needed to get someone promoted. Today, there's many of them, right? But today we're going to focus on IQ and EQ. Talk about IQ. IQ is very familiar with everybody, right? We know that a majority of the people will fall into the middle of the bell curve. We have very similar IQs, of course. Some people, they have very high IQ. However, what gets you promoted and further down the road isn't so much about IQ. It's actually a lot about EQ and SQ. Clarence, how much do you know about EQ?
Oh, emotional intelligence, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's ways, for example, sometimes when I'm on calls, it's an opportunity to, build rapport. It's, also sense outside of the technical, outside of just work, being able to spend some time really building relationships. That's the way I look at, EQ. Hopefully that's a component of it.
absolutely. So just now, because my screen sharing isn't working, and in the past, I would be very nervous, I would be frustrated. But even though I joked about who I blame, I don't blame anyone because I know sometimes technology works, sometimes doesn't. This is my journey of EQ, right? EQ is about knowing our own emotion and know how to manage and regulate our emotions, but also know other people's emotions and use those awareness to build relationships. So a lot of people, especially for people who are technical, highly technical, analytical, logical, I belong to that group of people. We may not fully in touch with our emotions. Also, for people who may grow up in family or culture that's not value emotions and feelings, they may forgot about express their feelings and emotions. They just suppress, right? I give you an example. My parents are great parents, but they don't know how to handle emotions. They don't know how to handle conflicts. They don't have the language and knowledge to teach me and my siblings. So I had to learn all of this myself. But fortunately, right now, I have a lot of knowledge that I can pass down to my children. I give you an example. This morning, I went to see my mom, and then I said goodbye. I hugged her. I said, I love you, mom. Bye. And then I know I'm going to have this conversation this afternoon for me. I'm like, Mom, do you love me? Mom said, Of course I love you. I said, Then say, I love you. Haha, of course I love you. That's how we express our emotions, our affections, right? So it is important for us to be on a journey to touch upon where am I in terms of emotional intelligence. It is fascinating how much your life, including personal life and professional life, will be more fulfilled and happier once you know about emotional intelligence. And there's assessment you can take as well.
What about SQ?
SQ. Thank you for reminding me. SQ. is a social intelligence. I feel a lot of people may not know as much as EQ on SQ, because SQ is really this all the combined skills that allow us to be able to handle and navigate complex social situations. For example, in your company, who are the decision makers? Who are best friends? Where the company is going in terms of the future trend, where technology is going. And when do you say something or not say something? Those are all social skills, social intelligence. Often, when a person has a higher social intelligence, we may say they are highly political savvy. And that's another way to look at it. So this social intelligence is really important about when to say what, do what or not do what, right? And also, I want to mention that the IQ, EQ, and SQ at different stages of our career, the importance and the ratio of them can be different. And we can talk about that more later.
I was just going to ask that. How balanced is it, right? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to move on to the next question.
Yeah, and
Jessica.
hope maybe we could just ask it and put it in chat in case the mentee is still giving us issues. Oh,
Are you having issues, Jessica?
yeah, let's just go ahead and put it in chat.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll just ask the question there, and then people, if you could just respond in chat, maybe we can get around this for this session. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a try again.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
see whether it's going to work on me.
You want to just
Yeah, it's working right now. So I'm gonna share my screen instead.
okay. Oh, okay.
We'll just swing it, right? Or swing it or wing it. What's the percentage that your performance contributes to your promotion? 10%, 50%, 90%?
It seems like the total bell curve here.
Yeah,
50%.
50%.
Is that, well, what's the right answer?
What's the right
There's always the
answer?
right answer, right? Somewhere.
Yeah, there is a right answer. In this case, the right answer is in the minority. The 4 people who answered 10% is actually the right answer. So why is that? We'll talk about it. If performance contributes to your promotion and career advancement for only 10%, what else matters? Hint, hint, 2 responses. Networking, personality, relationship, agility, image, emotional intelligence,
Brand.
brand,
Yeah.
vision, influencing. Lovely. Politics, we talked about that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Networking is still front and center though.
Yes.
Network.
Politics and networking, front and center. Awesome. Keep it coming. Great. See, when technology works, it's great. And then it doesn't. So, have you heard about the PI framework, Clarence?
I have, yes. There's a blend
Okay.
of it, but yeah, please elaborate for our audience.
Yes. So we talk about the performance part is only 10%, right? And then the image 30%, exposure is 60%, which aligned to our Mentimeter poll. A lot of people were talking about networking and relationship. So a lot of people may say, if performance is only 10%, then why am I working this hard? Well, even though it's 10%, but it is a significant 10%. And here's why. So performance is your technical deliveries, or you meet the deadline, you had a great outcome. That's the part of your performance. But if you don't have a good performance, then you may not be even considered in the promotion conversation. So that's why the performance, even though it's 10%, but it is super, super important. And then the image is, as the Mentimeter survey mentioned about the brand, right? What kind of image do you have? When people think of you, what comes to their mind? Do they think about, oh, Clarence is so reliable. Whatever I assigned to him, he just finished beautifully. Or Jessica, she is such a IT supporter. Every time I have any webinar, I want her to support me. Jim is a wonderful producer. I just love working with him, right? So what kind of image are you creating that people would know about you? And then exposure is the largest slice, which is 60%. It is the middle of that Mentimeter. It's the networking. It's who knows about you. Not just everybody knows about you. It's the decision makers. Who among the decision makers in the organization know you? When promotion discussion is on the table, who would say, Jessica is ready for the next level promotion? And here's why. Yeah, Clarence, you will say that.
So I think about the networking. I think about, sometimes, people say, oh, make sure you build relationships with the people above, below, and to each side of you, right? And, when you look at this pie and you look at the previous graph of your social, emotional, and intellectual intelligence, um, how are they linked? I mean, is there a linkage?
Oh, that's a great question. Absolutely. So I'm going to stop sharing so that we can see people. Remember this pie, 20%, 10%, 30%, and 60%. And now let's come back to what we talked about, the IQ, EQ, and SQ. What's the relationship among them? Absolutely, there's a relationship. For example, performance, you're going to see more IQ contribute to performance, some EQ and SQ. But when it comes to image, certainly you're going to use a lot of EQ and SQ than IQ. Because here is more about what do I want people to see about me? What do I want people to know about me? And then exposure, on the other hand, would be more social intelligence. Like, who should I network with? Why do I want to network with Clarence, not Lawrence? Because of what? Right? So that's where the social intelligence come in, but also a lot of EQ and less so on IQ. And also, depending on where they are in terms of their career journey, as we mentioned in the beginning, if you're early stage, you most likely, even in performance, you use a lot of IQ to show that performance you can deliver. But then as you move up to senior level, it's not your performance is not so much about how you can solve a particular problem using your technical skill. It's more about how you can lead a team, how you can collaborate with other people to deliver what you are supposed to. It's a larger project, right? So performance is super important as the foundation. Yeah.
So exposure and image, right, and the drivers of, promotions currently, but is that a, a fair presumption or assumption? Should those, um, who are actively seeking promotions, regardless of what your career stage is, really be relying more on performance, and so it feels like there's this, it flexes, right? But what are your
Yeah.
thoughts about?
I think even including myself, I had such misconception or mistakes, right? It's about like everything is about performance. It's about I can do this. It's about my stellar performance. Of course, it is important because it's the baseline. It's the foundation of the house you're building. Even though you cannot see the foundation, but without the foundation, you cannot go on with a beautiful house, which is your promotion. But if we only pay attention to the performance, and we may think that performance, if I deliver my project, I should be promoted. And it may think that my work speak for itself. We may think that my manager should know about my performance. I can tell you that with the team that I led for many years, with the leaders that I coached, one of the most complaint, probably biggest complaint, is about how come my manager doesn't know what I did? They should know. I agree, they should know. But here is the reality. The reality is most likely your manager is also managing other people, and your manager may be also working really hard so that they can be promoted to the next level. So it's not realistic to expect your manager knows everything that you do, So what I did when I joined the company, the big company, I set up monthly one-on-ones with my manager. And during that meeting, we're not talking about anything else. We're not talking about how to solve a problem. Rather, it is about what I have accomplished. I read it up. I print out 2 copies, 1 copy for him, 1 copy for me. And we'll talk about what I have delivered, what I have accomplished, what value I provided, how did I assist the team. As a result, I got promoted in a year. Basically, I was leading him to give me the promotion.
So it sounds like you became, again, underscoring the advocacy part, right? Your manager who manages, number of people may not have the pulse on all the stuff that you think you do, right? And so
Yeah,
part of that feels like it's again your responsibility to advocate for yourself, right? To, and sometimes it is hard, right? To
it is.
pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, we can't, we are not taught to be doing that all the time, right?
Right.
I feel that we were taught to be humble, not bragging. So it's very hard to say, "Oh, here, this is what I did," but do it strategically, do it to the people who are important, do it to the people who might be able to sit at the table for promotion.
So you kind of just touched on it, right? It's easy, right, to be humble and not braggy, right, and all of that. So, and it's hard, right? It's hard to come out of that for some folks, and it's not natural. But, how do maybe can you share how some, we call it, and I do air quotes, right? Successful
Hmm.
people, how do they do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The successful people do the opposite. They are very comfortable or strategically share what they have done with the right people, and
Mm.
they focus on the impact. And not only, oh, I finished this, rather, they would say, because of this, how much money saved, or how many customers we attracted, or what might be the reputation increase of the company, or we avoided certain risks. They focus on the value, the impact they created. And they also check in regularly with their managers or manager, and even other stakeholders, because when you get promoted in that promotion table, there could be many areas of people from different areas in that table for a conversation. So that's where we need to use our CQ, SQ, social intelligence, to understand. And they also ask for feedback. How can I get to the next level? Where's the gap? What can I work on? Once the manager provides such feedback, the successful people, they will come back to say, so how am I doing right now? And Clarence, as I mentioned earlier, once we are in the STEM Connect, as well as our leadership development program, we will really teach in depth on how can we advocate for ourselves strategically, not being seen as, oh my God, you're bragging all the time, I don't like you. We don't want that happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do have a question to our audience. I want them to put into the chat. How often do you meet with your manager to discuss your performance and gaps and feedbacks? Put
Great
into the
question.
chat.
Yeah. I hear about the annual 360s, but that's a different thing. Annual reviews, right? But it feels like it should be a little more frequent than just once a year.
Exactly. Many companies are trying to get away from just annual performance.
Yeah, I see quarterly, monthly, twice a month.
Awesome.
All right. I just want to do a quick time check. We're at 10 minutes to. So I know that Jim and Jessica are not monitoring chat, so I appreciate you doing that. Trying to stay focused on home. Multitasking doesn't work very well for me. But yeah, definitely we kind of coming down towards the hour mark. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware.
When you are having fun, time just flies.
I know. But at the same time, I do want to respect everybody's time. I'm seeing lots of comments flow through that Jim's helping moderate, so I really appreciate that.
Awesome. So I do have another slides that I want to quickly share. So because we have the knowledge, but if we don't take any action, nothing is going to change. Knowledge remains at knowledge, right? So I want to ask our attendees, what is one action you can take surrounding the topics that we talked about? The performance, the image, the exposure, IQ, EQ, SQ. What is one thing you can do? Not next week, not tomorrow, but today. Put that into the chat. While you're doing that, I do want to mention what's next. At the STEM Connect in October, I will have a 1-hour workshop talking about the exposure strategy. We talked about is 60% of your promotion. And we're going to talk about the STEAM strategy. And then I will also offer a 2 hours workshop. This is a personalized action plan to architect your promotion blueprint so that you can steam to the top. And then we will also announce some leadership development program.
Thank
What
you.
I want to see is a promotion is really a journey, right? It's not going to be happening overnight. But I know you have the knowledge, you're going to take action to work on that next level promotion.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning STEM Connect again. As I mentioned at the top of the presentation today, that we have 7 tracks of professional development and training. Jim's helping me develop those. We have a full core of trainers. So it's actually really interesting. October 1 through 4 in Pittsburgh. You can connect with me. You can go to our stemconnect.org website to find out more information. But I think being able to spend some time drilling down on some of these topics was really interesting. You mentioned there's a 2-hour one. There's some 1-hour shorter sessions that some of our other folks are doing as well. So it's just really important that I think this is a great introduction to to Pi, right, and SQIQ, EQ. I know there are books written about this stuff. I have a good colleague who actually does one here in the Denver metro area about EQ and IQ. But again, really interesting topics. I wanted to take the opportunity for people to come off mute or onto camera and any kind of questions that they had for Hope. I'm not seeing the chat thread right now as it's just flowing through. But if there's anything that you would love to ask Hope in a few minutes that we have, please do. All right. Jim, are you seeing anything in there?
I hope this is Sandeep. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes. Hi,
Yes.
Sandeep.
Yeah, glad you can. So I wanted to backtrack a bit to a topic you brought up about image. There was a blurb in the chat that said image constitutes what people say when you are not in the room. Would that be something to bring up when you have a one-on-one with the manager?
Oh, that's a great question. A lot of times we may not know what people see us, what kind of image they have on us. So one of the I would say best ways is to ask people that you trust. Like when you see me, what do you see me? What do you see in me? Or when you think of me, what do you think? So in this case, when you have a conversation with your manager, ask your manager, how do
Yeah.
you feel, like what kind of person I am, what's my strength is, you see. And also ask what opportunities I may have. And fundamentally, you want to get those authentic and open feedback so that we can grow. Feedback sometimes is not comfortable, but we have to be in the discomfort zone to grow. Did I answer your question, Sandeep?
Yeah, so mostly if I have to ask about image, I could bring it up to people I trust. So my manager is someone I can trust. And so what
Yeah.
other things could we bring up with our manager?
I think you want to have a great relationship with your manager, a manager that you can trust. You can be open about your aspiration. I feel there are times that we kind of hint what we want. Uh, See, I'm working really hard. I finished this. But I would say be clear with your manager on my aspiration is to be the next level. My aspiration is to lead teams. My aspiration is to lead bigger projects. Whatever is your aspiration, be clear with your manager. And also, as I mentioned, you want to watch what your manager was doing. What is he or she doing, they are doing that you may not be doing. If you want to get to the next level, I would say think and act as your manager. Only then you can be someday in that position. I sometimes, when I coach my team, I would say, here's how I do it. This is why I do it. I'm saying this because I want someday you are in my position.
Thanks, Sandeep, for the question. We have time for one more. Sandy in our chat asked Hope, is it helpful at all to ask HR for guidance in the promotional path?
Absolutely. Actually, if you know your HR personnel, I would recommend you to become best friends with them. I actually worked with my HR personnel to come up with promotion guidelines criteria. Because if we don't have those guidelines, then promotion cannot be fair. If nobody knows what's the criteria guidelines, then it's a black box, right? We want to be fair, so then work with the HR. And as I said, if you are the best friend of any HR people, you probably know something that other people may not know yet. I'm not saying that HR professionals should do that. It's just conversation between friends, right?
Right. Thanks, Hope. No, absolutely. It is really important. I wanted to maybe take us across the finish line here by thanking you, Hope, for wonderful information about Pi and our 3 Qs. And, like I said, this session is recorded for those who would like to review that. Just wait a couple of days. We'll post it back up on our webinar site for free playback. And one thing into September that Jim and I are trying to design is, oh, there's the survey. Please fill out the survey for us. It's always great data. Scroll down to the bottom. I believe there's 3 questions, so don't hit end or submit too quickly. But in September, I'm actually trying to get one of our SASE board members to confirm a date that we would love to have Tom Fernandez present and his thoughts about our STEM Connect convention, as well as our CEO, Jim, might be on there if he's available. So please be on the lookout for that on our webinar page. And again, great content, Hope, and I look forward to seeing many of you at our STEM Connect convention in October to hear more about not only what Hope has presented and trained on, but some other of our potential. And then Lawrence Lee from last month will also be there in October. So I wanted to wrap up by saying thank you to everyone for your chats in as much as I could see. And again, thank you so much for your input here. Please continue to finish out on the webinar. Any questions, please feel free to reach out to pro@saseconnect.org. I will see that. Jessica will see it as well. And we're happy to reach back and respond and hopefully continue to engage with you in this community. So thank you so much, Hope. Thank you, Jessica, Jim, our audience for today's attendance and webinar.
Thank you. Go get that promotion.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful day.